Let me tell you about the worst speech I've ever had. So last year, a company based in Minnesota hired me, and their headquarters are in Minnesota, but half of the team works in Israel. So they flew half their team in from Israel, and they wanted me to speak on storytelling, and so they thought it'd be fun to put me around a campfire. And so I show up about 4 o'clock. They have this great setup. It was pretty, it was beautiful. They're gonna show up, they're gonna eat dinner, then we're gonna have a great event right around the campfire. It's gonna be kind of fun. Well, about 5:30, no one's there. And so the event organizer and I are starting to call and try and figure out where they are. 6 o'clock rolls around, 6:30. The first bus of 2 shows up at 7:15. As the first bus is pulling in, the second bus, we saw it, it passed the turn, it missed it. And it goes down and it's going to turn around, and about a mile down the road, this bus, it's like a 100-passenger van, it gets stuck. Like stuck. These guys are out of the van. They're like this bus pushing it, trying to get this thing unstuck. The second bus of people doesn't show up until 9:15 p.m. It's dark, right? They haven't eaten. They've been in meetings all day. Half of them flew in from Israel the day before. This is just not going well. And so they eat dinner, and we get everything set up around the fire, and by the time we're ready to go, it's almost 10 p.m. and it is pitch black. They have no lights other than the fire, right? They didn't plan on this. I was supposed to speak at 6. There's like 4 guys from Israel on the front row, just out cold. Before we even start, they're just exhausted, right? Jet lagged, just so tired. And so they put me in front of this group and they introduce me, and I literally cannot see faces a foot in front of me. I mean, I'm sure they can't see me either. It's just like this voice in the darkness that's talking to them. It's bizarre. And here's the thing, stuff like that happens, right? You can't control how it happens. But I'm sure in what you do, things fall apart and people don't show up and people don't do their jobs. And I just learned as a speaker a long time ago that I don't have full control over the audience, and I don't have full control over the event and the setup, but I do have full control over myself and how I show up. And so I got up in front of this audience in the pitch black, and I just gave them my best stories, my best lines, tons of energy, and I hope it connected. I couldn't tell because I couldn't see their faces. The client was happy. We ended up having a great event. We made the most of it. So I think we have to recognize that there are things that are outside of our control, things that we cannot change, right? The way that things happen, it just isn't ideal in many situations, but we can control how we show up. And so you show up and you perform and you give your best regardless of how it's going, because that's what leaders do.